After Hurricane Michael uncovered hidden rubble at Lido Beach, why some say the debris could pose a danger. Plus, a Florida man behind bars, the plot involving bombs in Target stores that landed him there. And a new type of neighborhood watch in our area. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening. Our top story tonight, debris and erosion is causing safety concerns at a Sarasota County beach. Concrete exposed by Hurricane Michael continues to litter parts of Lido. Now, it's an issue that has some who visit that beach frequently choosing to go somewhere else. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from Lido Beach tonight with more on what beachgoers and people who live nearby are saying. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, there are quite a few rocks here on this beach. There are concerns over danger.
When you come down to the beach, you shouldn't have to worry about your safety walking the beach and stumbling over concrete.
Wayne Roseanne is also very concerned about the rusted pieces of metal sticking up near the concrete. He lives right across the street from Lido Beach and says this is not only dangerous, but also an eyesore.
Right here in front of the south lifeguard stand, we have rocks and exposed metal. Then right here between that, right out in front of the concession stands, we have another set of rocks. In the water, we have crushed concrete.
Erosion from the recent Hurricane Michael exposed what many believe is remnants of the old Lido Beach casino. Some beachgoers we talked with say they are okay with the concrete and metal pieces that litter parts of the beach.
I think it's kind of cool. I think it looks a little bit like old Florida. And I think it's kind of what vacationers want to see when they come here.
The city of Sarasota says there are plans to remove the small pieces of the concrete, but leaving the bigger pieces there because it could create a greater need for sand on the beach. The rest of the issue will be taken care of when new sand is added to the beach during an upcoming renourishment project.
I would not let kids play around this, that's for sure. I mean, if I had children, I would never come down to this side. I would go way away from this. And people walk down here and look at it. It's a conversation piece. But at night, I mean, there's open, exposed rebar there.
And that beach renourishment project will be getting underway this spring. Reporting live from Lido Beach this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. Well, a lot of people trying to head to the beach because of the warmer temperatures. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. And Bob, it doesn't quite feel like fall out there.
82 degrees, that's what the feels like temperature is. It's down from 84 just an hour ago. 79, and winds are out of the east at 6. So temperatures have been unseasonably warm. That's going to continue on to tomorrow, too, as high pressure, which is up there 30-15, continues to dominate. That air under the high pressure continues to sink. It compresses, it heats up, and dries things out for the most part. We had a few brief showers around earlier today, mainly over South Sarasota County down into Charlotte County, but that activity now out in the Gulf of Mexico and a few along the East Coast, but not a lot. Things are fairly quiet here now, and temperature is still pretty warm up and down the state for that matter. 77 in Orlando, it's 81 in Miami, 81 as well in Tallahassee, 84 in Key West, and temperatures around town in the low 80s right near the beaches. 85-degree water temperature, that's pretty warm. 78 now in Sebring, 77 in Lake Placid, and Arcadia at 78. So the forecast overnight, mostly fair skies expected. It will be a warm start, 7 a.m., no problems for school, and then your commute looks good. A few possible showers tomorrow afternoon as a weak frontal system comes in. We'll have more on the rest of the work week forecast and take a look at the weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi's latest column published tonight. In it, he points to the muted international response to ongoing abuses against journalists by governments in the Middle East. Khashoggi was last seen entering Saudi Arabia's consulate more than 2 weeks ago. He has not been heard from since. As ABC's Maggie Ruley reports, new details reveal the journalist may have been killed.
New details are now emerging about the disappearance of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi, a frequent critic of the Saudi regime, telling his fiancée to call 2 people if there was any trouble. One, his close friend, Turan Kizlachi, who spoke with ABC's senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell.
There have been repeated claims that there is proof that Mr. Khashoggi was killed, but there is an audio recording.
Security officials said they do have audio tapes, he says, and they know all the details of what happened that day. He says the tapes reveal when Khashoggi walked into the consulate, he was given a document to sign but refused. He was then killed. The New York Times reporting Turkish authorities say audio tapes indicate a hit squad beheaded and dismembered him. Turkish investigators are now poring over the consulate grounds, and officials there released to a Turkish newspaper the images of 15 Saudis they say traveled to Istanbul the day Khashoggi went missing. The Times reports several of those suspects have ties to the Saudi crown prince, including Mayor Abdulaziz Mutreb, allegedly in Istanbul the day Khashoggi went missing, seen here in Boston within a few feet of the crown prince in March. 1 month later, both men in Houston, and then together in Madrid. As the investigation continues, the president insists he's not giving cover to Saudi Arabia.
They're an important ally, but I want to find out what happened, where is the fault, and we will probably know that by the end of the week.
The Washington Post publishing an opinions page online Wednesday night featuring an article filed by Khashoggi right before he disappeared. In it, he discusses the need for a free press in the Middle East. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
A Florida man has been sentenced to 40 years in prison for planning to place bombs on the shelves of Target stores. His goal, to drive the company's stock prices down. A federal judge in Ocala sentenced 50-year-old Mark Barnett today. He was convicted in July of attempted arson and other charges. Authorities say Barnett offered a confidential source $10,000 to place homemade bombs disguised in food packaging on Target store shelves all the way from Florida to New York. Investigators found bomb-making materials at his home. The devices never made it into the stores. Authorities say Barnett had purchased options on Target stock that would pay out when the share price dropped. 1 week later, the death toll continues to rise in the aftermath of Hurricane Michael. Florida officials have confirmed 3 more deaths in Bay County. This brings the death toll to at least 32 people, 22 in Florida alone. 10 shelters remain open with over 1,000 people taking refuge. The current power outage as of 6 o'clock this evening, over 120,000. And the rough life is getting even rougher for people living in Mexico Beach. Those affected in the hard-hit area began returning home for the very first time today. Many returning to see their homes devastated by wind and water. The pieces of their old lives scattered around.
It's devastating. You lose everything. Everybody has. I'm sorry.
The same night after the hurricane happened, this was over there, and you can obviously see the windows out. They just come in, steal everything.
The Florida National Guard continues its Hurricane Michael response. So far, they've flown 37 air rescue missions. And donations for Hurricane Michael victims continue to pour into the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office has been collecting items to take up to the Panhandle since last week. They'll be filling this semi-truck with everything from food and water to cleaning supplies and toiletries. Those dropping off supplies today say they feel compelled to help in any way possible. For Cindy Maldonado, she has been through something very similar and knows the importance of those donations.
Basically, I went through Hurricane Andrew in Fort Lauderdale, and I know what it's like to lose everything.
The truck will head up to Bay County in the Panhandle by the 1st of next week. A new type of neighborhood watch is coming to the city of Northport. The new Canal Watch group will be overseen by the Public Works Department, but will consist of all volunteers. Their main effort to make sure the city is not adding or causing any extra pollution in our waterways.
Our canal systems are part of the city's drinking water supply, so it's very important that they are, we've got good water quality.
Aside from the environmental aspect of it, the group will also serve as a watchdog for safety. For more on how you can join that Canal Watch group, head over to our website at mysuncoast.com. Well, the final debate between Democratic U.S. Senator Bill Nelson and his challenger, Republican Governor Rick Scott, has been canceled. CNN was trying to reschedule a debate that was postponed because of the response to Hurricane Michael, but the network has since pulled the plug. They say the candidates could not agree on a new date. It was supposed to be the second of 2 debates before the November 6th election. Now, voting in the November 6th general election has already surpassed the 500,000 mark. Numbers posted today by the Florida Division of Elections show more than 554,000 people have cast vote by mail ballots. Republicans have returned 247,000 ballots. Democrats have turned in 207,000. Another 100,000 ballots are from unaffiliated voters and people registered with third parties. Meanwhile, the Florida Supreme Court is overturning a decision to toss out 3 proposed constitutional amendments off the November 6th ballot. Today's ruling means voters can still vote on Amendments 7, 9, and 11. Last month, a lower court ruled those items should be taken off the ballot because they bundled different issues. Amendment 7 would provide state university benefits for children of first responders who die on the job and also require a supermajority vote before University Board of Trustees could raise fees. Amendment 9 would ban oil drilling in state waters and also ban vaping in indoor workplaces. Amendment 11 would remove language deemed obsolete from the state constitution. Manatee County commissioners are considering building roundabouts along 2 busy roads, Honore Avenue and Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. Cooper Creek Boulevard and Honore Avenue is just one of the intersections that commissioners are considering. Manatee County commissioners say traffic issues are what people throughout the community seem to care about most. So at a workshop with Public Works, commissioners brainstormed ways to help alleviate those problems in growing areas.
They showed at an intersection how you have all these points of conflict, where a roundabout you have just 4 points of conflict. It really is a much safer alternative.
While roundabouts may be safer, they're also more expensive. Commissioners have asked staff to come up with more ideas for an improvement plan and to see if those can be funded. Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, the latest red tide report is released. What a senior scientist from Mote Marine tells us about what it will take for that bloom to come to an end. And a fast approaching deadline for the Department of Health, a judge's order on the state's medical marijuana law.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
A pending lawsuit and a turtle nesting season are the only two things in the way of one developer's plan to build a St. Regis hotel and condos. As of today, 75% of the Colony Beach Resort demolition in Longboat Key is complete, but the remaining buildings that sit on that waterfront cannot be torn down until after November, when the turtle nesting season is over. When that's done, the developer Unicorn National Developments will have to win a pending lawsuit before he can begin construction. Sarasota attorney Dan Lobeck is trying to stop him.
Unicorp has been buying up units, not enough to terminate it. That's why he's going to court to get from the court what he can't get end of the law. But he's not doing it according to the Florida statutes, and we think ultimately it's more likely the court will put this up to a public auction.
The lawsuit is expected to be complete by the middle of next year. If he is granted ownership, that's when he plans to break ground on the new St. Regis Hotel and condos. Well, the midweek red tide report from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is out, and it shows much lower concentrations along the coastline. Bloom concentrations of red tide decreased in Manatee County, showing only low and very low levels of red tide. In Sarasota County, high concentrations of the bloom were found only at one site near New Pass, and there were also some reports of fish kills. Respiratory irritation was reported over the past week in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. As for what it will take for red tide to come to an end, a senior scientist at Mote Marine Lab had this to say.
That is the big question. We just don't know exactly what will take to stop it. Sometimes the hurricane might have dispersed it to the point offshore where it doesn't come back. Other times, because of a lot of rain, bringing nutrients runoff from the land, so we just kind of have to wait and see.
Mote Marine says that while Hurricane Michael did help move red tide, we will have to wait and see how much of a difference it will make in the long run. Bob, I know you said you were out fishing near New Pass today, and you said you didn't really see any problems.
No, had no problems. We went through much of Sarasota Bay all the way down to the South Bridge near Siesta Key, and up north to Longboat Key, actually out in the Gulf of Mexico, and there was no harmful impacts. And we mentioned we heard the rain mentioned there. You know, with the Hurricane Michael, we didn't get a lot of rainfall, so not a lot of runoff and not a lot of nutrients. And rain chances are going to be staying fairly low, so we don't expect that to be a problem. And east winds will also be with us too, so good signs there. And a good sign here, ABC7 Tower Cam showing a nice sunset tonight. There were a few showers this evening, mainly over South County and into Charlotte County and the western edge there as the sea breeze was established, and not enough moisture to create a lot of widespread rain, but boy, beautiful sunset it was tonight, and a lot of photos obviously always coming in at pics at mysuncoast.com. Marty Dover getting this one, Venice Jetty. You can see that little rain shower offshore of the jetty there as it heads out to the Gulf of Mexico, and Terry getting one of Sarasota Bay. Beautiful shot. They never get old. And Fred Seeger, look at this beautiful sun setting right there at the gates to heaven right there, the Suncoast. Perfect. Thank you, Fred. We are looking at the Titan radar picture. That front all but washed out. Still a few showers hanging on there. Not many at all. This is a weak backdoor front, which will cool us down just a few degrees, it looks like, on Saturday, and then another stronger front, but even that's not that strong. We'll move through late Sunday and into Monday. Current radar sweep showing a few showers well offshore, not much going on here right now, and we didn't get a lot of rainfall. As I mentioned, not enough to really measure. A brief shower here or there near Inglewood, also near Jacaranda and near South Venice, but all that rain over. Here's a future cast. High pressure going to push this front down as it builds in from the Ohio Valley. You notice how skies are clear here, and the winds rotating around that high will be out of the northeast and pushing this front very close to us, but not enough to blow on through and cool us down significantly. As I mentioned, just a few showers expected. A lot more rain, unfortunately, for Texas in store as that moisture from the Gulf continues to work into Texas. The forecast tomorrow, you guessed it, another hot one. Summer-like conditions, high temperatures in the low 90s. There'll be a few more showers around in the afternoon and evening due to that weak frontal system, but not a lot. In the tropics, this area right here is what we were watching just a few days ago. Had a 40% chance of developing. It moved over land, and now it's starting to emerge out here in the Pacific, and part of it also went into the southwest Gulf of Mexico, which could get entrained into that frontal system. Going to bring some heavy rainfall to Texas. Keep an eye on this area. No problems right now. That's a favorite area for development right there in the southwest Caribbean. Water temperatures remain unseasonably warm here in the southwest Caribbean, but Michael did cool things off on the eastern Gulf. I want to show you, though, we're not quite over with the hurricane season. This is the GFS forecast model, and you'll see this is Saturday as we take you through time. Looks like we'll see a couple of fronts get close to us, but not move all the way through. There goes a high pressure ridge. We're now into Wednesday of next week. Still high pressure holding on, but notice what happens here. A little disturbance starts to pop up, and all of a sudden, it really starts to get going here. Now, this is next Saturday, not this Saturday, so still about 10 days off, and you'll see it kind of hugging the coast there over the northeast. So this one bears watching down the road to see what happens. The GFS has been kind of initiating these forecasts in the European, pretty close to it too, a little bit further offshore, but that's over 10 days away, so it has a lot of time. And Oscar is the next named storm. Let's hope it's not a bad one. As far as the current conditions go, we have 79 degrees, heat index is 82, and the high today, 92. Not record, but close to it. Our normal high, which would be pretty nice, 85. I think we'll start to get into that on Monday and Tuesday of next week as a stronger front starts to move on through. Flood watch is in effect across parts of Texas, and temperatures will be fall-like all throughout the rest of the U.S. with the exception of Florida. We'll be right into the low 90s for the most part. For boaters tomorrow, winds out of the northeast at 10 knots, and we'll have a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast then calling for a slight chance for late day showers and storms. Still unseasonably warm through Friday. We cool off just a little bit, and then we cool off a little bit more on Monday and Tuesday, and with the chance for showers on Tuesday and Wednesday. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. Happening in Florida, Governor Rick Scott has until Friday to make a move regarding a judge's order on medical marijuana. The Leon County Circuit Judge ruled last week that the state has failed to properly carry out the amendment. The 2016 constitutional amendment broadly legalized medical marijuana. Now the judge is giving the Department of Health 2 weeks to begin registering more medical marijuana operators or risk being found in contempt. However, in a letter to the governor today, House leaders are asking Scott to ask for a temporary injunction. They say that the order, quote, creates practical impossibilities and could hurt businesses. Puerto Rican officials have opened an office in Orlando where newly arrived residents from the island can get official records. Some of those records include birth certificates and other documents that can help them find jobs, go to school, or get health care. Tens of thousands of Puerto Ricans have moved to Florida since Hurricane Maria devastated the island last year. Well, still to come here on your Suncoast News, the warning from the CDC after almost 100 people across the country have gotten sick from a strain of salmonella. But first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, Kimmel's in Brooklyn.
Oh, snap.
With a fabulous Cardi B.
I could do this over and over again.
Plus, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the guys join the FDNY.
Jimmy, I think I'm too fat.
Kimmel, Back to Brooklyn, new tonight on ABC.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. You get all this coverage for a $0 monthly plan premium in most areas, and Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals. So call or go online today. Find out if your doctor is part of the Humana network and get your free decision guide. Discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information and be involved. Don't ignore the signs, join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
In health news, a heads up from the Centers for Disease Control. A strain of salmonella that's resistant to multiple antibiotics is making people ill in dozens of states. The CDC says at least 92 people in 29 states were infected with the salmonella strain. The people became sick after they came into contact with raw chicken products. Those products include pet food, chicken pieces, ground pieces, and whole chickens. That bacteria has also been found in live chickens. Luckily, no deaths have been reported. Lab tests have not been able to identify a common supplier or source of that affected chicken. Well, if you're skeptical about the safety of the flu vaccine, you're not alone. A new survey by Orlando Health found that more than half of parents think that the flu shot causes the flu. Experts say the idea that the flu shot can cause the flu is actually a myth, one that may have originated from the fact that it takes about 2 weeks for the vaccine to kick in. In the wake of flu season, experts recommend that any healthy person over 6 months of age get the flu vaccine as soon as it's available. Well, that's a look at health news. We'll have your winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
An eagle is back in the wild tonight after a close call earlier this week. The Peace River Wildlife Center in Punta Gorda took this little guy under their wing, not so little. Well, the eagle was found by fishermen. They say they saw the bird fall into the water after he had been eating fish on top of a power pole. They believe he got zapped because it appears his wings and body were burned. Staff at the center nicknamed the eagle Icarus because it looks like he flew too close to the sun. Glad to hear he's hopefully getting a little bit better.
Yeah, good news on that end. And good news for this Saturday morning, too. We have a big walk taking place. Yeah. This is, again, Making Strides, and looks like it starts at 7 o'clock, goes until 9. It's at the Nathan Benderson Park. Come on out. I'll be out there. ABC7 will be out there. We'll have a booth, and it's always a good event.
Yeah, great cause as well. All right, thank you, Bob. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a good one.